Okay, here we are again at our next stop along the Great Locomotive Chase route that stretched between Marietta and north of Ringgold, Georgia. We are at Adairsville, Georgia. We have stopped. It's a beautiful little town with an awesome little town square, a little main street. A lot of things happened here during the chase. This was a significant location for some occurrences. If you remember, the general passed right on through Kingston, and Fuller, the conductor whose train was stolen, he traded his Yona for the W.R. Smith. The W.R. Smith is now leaving Kingston in pursuit of the general. The next stop is at Adairsville. That's where we're at right now. And it's just a beautiful downtown area. I'll pan and let you see. I bet they really do it up right here at Christmas time. But you can see I'm standing here by the old courthouse. Some historic markers here. Just a beautiful, quaint little town. And there is the depot. You can see Adairsville. We're right next to the tracks, of course. That's the depot. And a lot of cool things happened here. So the general gets here, and he has to do some more smooth talking to get past a locomotive that was blocking the way. So there was a southbound locomotive here called the Texas. And the Texas was heading south, blocking the tracks, and the general couldn't get past. There's another historical marker there. And so Andrews had to, conductor of the Texas, and do a very similar thing with him as he's done in all the other locations, and explain to him that he is a munitions train on his way to resupply General Beauregard up north. He had to do that with the Texas because the Texas was in the way. Now, if you remember, back at the last stop in Kingston, Fuller got off the Yona and he got on the W.R. Smith. So now the W.R. Smith is traveling between Kingston and Adairsville. Well, the general and Andrews Raiders were far enough ahead of the Yona, or the W.R. Smith, that they were able to stop and pull up some tracks. So they pulled up some tracks just about a mile or so south of Adairsville. And here's Fuller, and he's got, remember, he picked up some soldiers along the way and whatnot. And so Fuller is chasing in the W.R. Smith. Well, the W.R. Smith eventually comes to the part of the track that the Raiders had torn up, and they can't go any farther. So they have to walk about the next mile or so to get to Adairsville. Well, while they're walking, or before they get here, the general is here, and I mentioned he had to convince the conductor of the Texas to back up and move out of the way so that he could continue north onto Chattanooga. Well, he was able to do that. The Texas moved out of the way. Remember, the Texas is southbound, the general's northbound. The Texas moved out of the way, and now the general can get past here in Adairsville and keep on the way. Now, so far, remember, they've managed to cut the telegraph line, so there's been no messages go north to warn anybody on the upcoming stops that the general has been commandeered by some raiders. Well, the general's on its way from Adairsville. Fuller on the W.R. Smith is on his way to Adairsville, but he comes across the tracks. He has to get off. They have to go on foot about a mile or two, I guess it is, until they get here to Adairsville. Well, they make it into Adairsville, and they tell the station, and they tell the conductor of the Texas, hey, that was not a supply train. That was a bunch of Yankees that stole my train back in Big Shanty. So Fuller told the conductor of the Texas, hey, listen, I need to take your train. And the conductor of the Texas says, "You got it. Go ahead, go get them." So they transferred to the Texas, and remember, the Texas is facing southbound, and they have to take up pursuit because there was no turntable here. They couldn't put the train on a track and turn it. So the Texas is going northbound in reverse. So the Texas, now manned by the conductor William Fuller, is on the way to get the General. So they leave Adairsville running backwards on the Texas. And I believe it's true that there was another train following them. I think it was the Catoosa. I'm going to have to read a little closer in the book. Again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just fascinated by the story. So if I get anything wrong, don't get too upset with me. I'm going to read the book this weekend and check all the little details. I'm just trying to tell you the highlights. But so out of Adairsville, a lot happens. The Texas is in pursuit in reverse, chasing the General, and now they're headed toward Calhoun. So we'll pick it back up when we get to Calhoun. Let me pound here just so you can see what a beautiful little downtown they've got here. And I want to really point out this mural that they've got on the side of the old depot. That's showing the W.R. Smith, or not the W.R. Smith, that's the General. You see the W&ARR, that's the Western and Atlantic Railroad. You can see the General is heading north, and behind them in pursuit is the Texas running backwards. That's just a beautiful mural here on the Adairsville Depot. I hope you can see. Let me see if I can pan out. There you go. Maybe you can see that a little better. Just a wonderful little treasure they've got here. And there's a placard on the wall here. We'll take a look at it real quick. You can see Adairsville Depot. They've turned it into a museum and a welcome center. We'll have to come back. There you go. So they're chronicling again, similar plaque to ones we've seen at the other stations. But one thing I didn't mention that I just noticed on the bottom of here, at the end of this chase, there were 6 men or 10 men. I'll look it up, but as a result of this very bold chase, even though I can't tell you whether they completed their mission or not, but I will tell you that several of the raiders were the first recipients of the Medal of Honor, which was created by Abraham Lincoln. So more about that when we get to the end of the story. We've got a lot to go still, but just a beautiful place here. I'd love to come back up here at Christmas and just see how they do things on the main street. Just lovely. Lori's walking around somewhere. I don't even know where. There she is over there on a park bench. But we are going to make our way back into the vehicle, and I don't know, maybe it's a 30-minute drive or so up to Calhoun. And we'll see you when we get there.